Jungle Beats Radio, Season 1, Episode 2. We're going to keep doing this for as long as we can, just spreading the good music and good vibes and amazing, unique, prolific artists. So, we've had a good, I was about to say good AM, Mac Miller's The Divine Femininity. Is that how you say it?
Divine Feminine, I think it is.
I thought it was femininity.
Could be.
Feminine? Have you got it listed up? Are you going to play that joint?
Yeah, I got the Kendrick joint listed up.
Okay.
I don't know, I think it's pretty dope. Kendrick does the thing. What I like about this track though is Mac Miller doesn't give Kendrick a verse. He just strictly puts Kendrick on the hook, and it works because I feel like that if Kendrick was on this beat, if you listen to this beat and you picture Kendrick going in, Kendrick would just steal the show because Mac Miller's still in his singing sort of shit, whereas Kendrick can definitely hit those notes better and has much more versatility.
Let's do it right now.
Do it right now?
We're not confined to being live. What was your interpretations of the Divine Feminine, Mac Miller's 4th album?
I thought it worked well with who he is right now because he's always been about like the pussy punchlines and about he's always been about fucking. So for him to be in love now and talk about that, like with Dang, it's revealed that it was actually a track that Anderson .Paak hit to him about. He was like, "Look, I want to do this track with you," because they would always talk about doing a track together. And Paak, the track originally Mac wanted to be about was about more like a fun fucking track, but Paak took a different approach. Where it was going to be about this is about people that I've lost and about the feeling of that. And so Mac took that approach with his. And then they made that song together, so it actually ended up being quite a deep track. And
that's probably why. Well, that's probably why it's one of the best songs on the album.
I think it's the best
as
song.
well. And I noticed a lot of the features. I like the features. They outshine Mac Miller, in my opinion.
Ariana Grande can just sing so much better.
Right.
And,
well,
Kendrick will be Kendrick.
Always.
And the other one I can't remember, but they went in.
The production, though, that's what stood out to me. I'm like listening to the album, and I wasn't really feeling it first listen. But I can appreciate the production. I definitely appreciate the production. It's very jazzy, neo soul.
He's never been on that before.
Right. So I'm like, to have Mac Miller's vocals laid over this kind of a jazzy, smooth instrumentation production is very different to me. But like the Needle Drop, like Fantana, I was bored with the album. I was just kind of like,
I think that what he said was good as well. It's like, unless you're a hardcore fan, you're probably not going to get into it. Because I'm a massive Mac fan.
Yeah, that's right. He's one of your favorite artists.
I love seeing the growth. I love seeing just his difference in the way he uses his words. Like, he wasn't as creative on this album. He was more creative. He just basically used his voice to go with the beats and the changes and to let that carry it instead of him. Because he's always about what he's talking about.
Like, he's never really sung or really talked about heavily on love and seduction and all these topics of romance.
And he's head over heels
in his sexual way.
He's never been like that as long as he's been doing music. So
he's made some fucking different shit right now.
Which is why I love him as an artist so much. I do think that this is probably one of his weaker albums, but it's still just so different. I think he's really enjoyed the change and the difference in that. And I think the next album, I believe it will probably be 2 years from now. But I think it's going to be completely different again. And I reckon it's going to shit on everything else. But maybe not watching movies. Watching movies, I don't think he's going to have to do.
Finding people respected him and I respected him. I loved it.
Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Grandma. What track was that called? That joint was called...
That was Sexy Nasty...
God is Fair, Sexy...
And
of course it's got Sexy Nasty and then it's got Kendrick Lamar in it. Yeah, I just feel like that's very suiting. And I remember what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that I feel like the 10 minutes later, the 10 tracks is cohesive. It's got a smooth sound the whole way through. It doesn't diverge. Hey?
Because it didn't need to be
100.
Sure. I reckon that's a why reason that a lot of people will like this album, even if they're not sure about it, for the fact that it is that short.
Right.
Because short albums do work really well.
Mm-hmm. Succinct.
And I was going to say, Kendrick only jumped on this track. So Mac Miller was in the studio and Kendrick was just around, and Mac's like, yo, come to my studio, because apparently Mac's studio is just amazing. Like, a lot of artists will use his studio.
Really?
Because it's just, he's just built it so beautifully, and the sound's just crisp. And so Kendrick came over there and he was doing a few drops. Like, this is Kendrick Lamar, like just doing
a few blah blah skirt.
Yeah, doing a few drops and stuff. And then so he was chilling there, Mac was doing his thing, Kendrick was doing his thing, so they were just sort of, hanging out, doing their own. And then Kendrick was leaving, and then Mac's like, yo, he's gonna love this beat. He's like got one of the producers, he's like, play this. And Kendrick was like about to leave, and then Mac just put the beat on and just sat there. And then Kendrick's like about to exit the door, he just sort of turns around and just sort of stares, and then you just see him start to like move his lips a little bit and heat up, and then like he just walks into the studio and it's like, let's do this.
Wow.
How cool is that?
He just takes the inspiration just from the beat.
Because Mac just knew that was his beat. If you go back and listen to that song again, God is Sexy Nasty, like it starts off with that whole like jazz appeal. It's very Spin Butterfly. Then that beat comes in, and that beat that comes in is very Good Kid, Mad City like. So just the way that just the way that it like transitions into that beat, I can just see Kendrick just being like, "Whoa, I have to spit on this," and he just did a hook. I reckon that he would have wanted to do a verse, but I think that Mac Miller knew that if he did a verse, he'd steal the show, and Kendrick would be like, "All right, I'm the god."
Because Kendrick's been stealing the show a lot.
Yeah,
lately.
So I think it's really really awesome how that track ended up turning out. I do think that the fact that he didn't have too many features outside of the 3 or 4 on there worked well too. Like I reckon that if he had features on all these tracks, then it would definitely wouldn't be his album because he does make it his album.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
His sound is very prominent throughout the album, as boring it is to me.
So yes, if you're a Mac Miller fan, I think that you will dig this, unless you fell off around the Blue Side Park era. But if you're not really into his music and want to try and check him out, I wouldn't recommend it.
Now, see, it's a very different sound, so I'd still say check it out.
Yeah, still check it out.
Because it's different, and you might like some of the smoother production and instrumentation.
I think that Dang was also the perfect track to get people to get sucked in, because it sucked me in straight away. I mean, I would listen to it anyway, but Dang's still like track of the year for me, so... As in chill track of the year.
I want to shift directions. There's a man who we can't use his name once again. Robert Williams. Robert Williams. Robert Williams is Meek Mill.
All right.
That's all I'm going to say his name.
Billy from
and he's had some verbal altercations with the game. And what's your interpretation of listening to those tracks over the last couple of days, Ben?
I only just listened to them today, both of them, and all I can say is that Game absolutely went in.
Bars.
96 bars. The beat that he uses on that is very documentary Doctor's Advocate sounding. It sounds like Game was gone straight back to when he started rapping that on that beat. And the way that he raps on there has the same sound as well. So I feel like Game, because he hasn't had a big beef in a while, like an actual like if you remember back in the sort of Advocate, Lax, LAX Theory sort of era, that's when he was putting out those tracks like, I think he put out a track like 160 bars, something like that. He just 320 bars, like he just kept releasing like massive tracks that just shat on not just one rapper but so many. Like that's how he was known to begin with. After documentary, he was just known for the beef, which sort of drew away from his story a bit more because he was actually used to be really good. But where was I getting with this?
Well, the fact that once again we got another beef throughout the year, but
I think he goes in about him and Nicki. He goes in about him representing his city, about how he's taken all the L's. And did Meek put out a diss track back with another person?
It was titled, "Ooh."
See, I haven't listened to that yet.
You haven't heard it?
I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, okay.
You was a bitch ass nigga. Never did nothing in your fucking life.
That shit cut, but the way he ended it was like violence. It's like violence is the answer. Guns, you touch me, you dead.
Oh, did it repeat itself?
Huh?
Was that repeating?
No, it didn't repeat.
That's how it ends.
I think it cut short. I don't know. Maybe I fucked it up. But like, it's talking about he's talking about violence and like taking it to the streets like that.
I feel like with that, like he focused way too much on the guns and like beating his ass and getting the gangs onto him. Like I feel like if you're gonna focus more on the flaws of that person,
the substance. And
they just didn't really do that. It was more about the violence, and if you keep speaking, then we're gonna fuck you up. Like, and then whenever they did go in him, it was just purely about the stripper thing. I don't think Game gives a fuck about that. I think he's proud of that shit.
And I think, 100%. And if he acknowledged it and said, yeah, man, I used to be a stripper making money, bitches riding my dick, like something like that, like making a rhyme and sound the game, doing that, I think everybody would be like, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, you're right. That's kind of dope.
Like, rap isn't as homophobe as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. I think Game knows that.
But I think really this is smart for the game, publicity, and smart for, like it's kind of.
Who knows? They could be working together on this.
Right.
You know,
I'd always want to know that. That'd be cool to find out 10 years' time.
Was it? Both friends with Nicki.
But like you see the videos, and it seems pretty genuine of like them talking. The game talking, and it's Man, I need to take some fish oil. I forget some shit sometimes.
Well, like I said, it's poor Nicki Minaj, man. Like,
you see
the Drizzy Game, she's friends with all these people. It's like, man, Meek, why the fuck are you gonna be such?
You see that you probably didn't see that Instagram photo of the game. He posted a photo of him and Nicki. He's holding her.
He's holding her.
Yeah, and he said, "The last time she held a real nigga."
Yeah, I saw that. I fucking laughed hard. That's all it was.
But this is not really like the substance of hip hop that we really want to cover. But like. Enough with this, like you hear about Cudi and Kanye,
But did you hear what Kanye did at his last concert?
Yeah. Like, where are you headed? What are you up to? Because they went back. He went back on his word.
For real? No.
So what did you hear?
The one I heard was at the concert, and he said that in the last like 10 years or whatever, Kid Cudi's like one of the most influential of that generation or whatever. Like he was praising him.
The most influential artist of the last 10 years. Yep,
Yeah.
That's the quote.
That's the quote. All right, what happened now? What
happened now? What happened before? He said he was going on about, because the Kid Cudi made a tweet, and he had this tweet about these niggas don't fuck about me, and they don't fuck with me. Yeah. Right? He's referencing, I believe, Drake and Kanye. It's an ambiguous tweet. Did you see that?
I did see that one.
Right. And then Kanye heard of it, and he's at his St. Pablo tour, and then he's like, don't never mention my name in a bad manner. None of y'all. So it's obviously a general statement, but obviously directed at Kid Cudi. And then he goes back, like he's kind of offended by Kid Cudi, and then he goes back and praises Kid Cudi. And I'm just sick of this back and forth shit.
Ooh, I feel like him dissing Kid Cudi was just him just feeling at that state of mind as he read that tweet. That's how he was feeling, but they're always going to be close. Like him and Kid Cudi, as I've looked upon like their relationship, they've just always been super close.
Right.
That's why Cudi could just leave good and they still work together a lot, because Kanye sees his vision.
Right.
And I think Cudi sees his as well. So I feel like despite the bickering that they might have in certain scenarios like that, I feel like they can always get back to each other. That's just how I see it. I just don't think that they possibly could hate each other.
Yeah. It's pretty minor, but I'm just sick of like these rappers saying one thing, doing another.
You just got to be smarter than that.
Right.
I mean, I just feel like a lot of rappers aren't that smart.
I mean,
that's just what it is.
I'm about to say, like, there's a reason they're rappers. But, like, no, you have to have obviously some intelligence to put these lyrics together and to create this piece of art.
There's rap smart, but then there's also media smart and street smart. Like, your smarts have different strengths and different weaknesses. Like, for me, I guess you could say, like, stuff to do with like
a social intelligence you have, an emotional intelligence.
Yeah. Whereas if you talk to me about anything to do with science, I have no intelligence in that. Well, basically things that I just don't have any experience in. If like you start talking to me about something that I don't have any experience with, then I'm not gonna have any intelligence on that subject at all.
Right.
And people look at me like, oh, this guy's not switched on. But then that's the thing. Like, I really feel that people need to be more aware of this as well, because people will judge a lot of people based on who they are and the other person, how they react with their own way. But people just gotta realize that. Everyone just have different forms of intelligence. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I'm just gonna stop there. I could rave on.
What do you want to go to?
Let's go from the beginning, man. Let's play some new shit. So I got a guy called, I believe, Ricky Blue. And I've also got another guy called
Phil Walker. Ricky Blue got a song called Wesley.
It's a quick song.
Snipes.
Banger.
Crank this shit. You don't like it.
It's only a minute and a half, but I thought it was
a good way to next one.
This sounds like some Martin Skysaw beat as well. I'm gonna check him some.
Mine's real cool. Like, if like we were in his city, I don't know, you saw him posting about his birthday.
Yeah,
like
we're just coming around.
Yeah, if we were in his city, I'd totally do that.
Yeah, and he also posts he always posts like beats. I've got beats myself. He got my email. Like, he's such a talented dude. He's such an unknown. Right. I think because Chicago has so many talent, like it's hard for him to get shine. If he was in any other city, I reckon he'd be bigger. Me and my boo on. These hoes are new sons. Asking for that bullshit, I'm a true one. 2 blunts. Shot my nigga free, I free myself. My nigga, be yourself. What you got to offer, what you doing? You gon' lead yourself. Boy, you gotta prosper. Ain't no options. You gon' teach yourself. Cause you cannot blame. Once of the game. If life is a bitch, beat that bitch out the frame. You up and envy my game. Class call you fan while my head shakes in shame. I got squad, I got God in my girl, get the game. Nigga, you brought in these hoes, ain't that lame. Gave you the sauce, you got lost, I'm just saying. Told them go hard, cause this shit not a game. What the fuck? I think he's just going real big cannons on that song.
Production
heavy, and his voice, like I just feel like the switch between his deepness and his raspiness just really suits that sort of production. It was dope.
Can we hit that next?
Hit that next. This guy's different. I like it.
It's Phil Walker. Listen to Thugger featuring Shindig.
I think this is really good, and it's like a beat switch in the middle, but then switches back. It's just like really cool the way he does this song.
You know, I'm gonna start like I've just an idea. I'm gonna start breaking up our conversations and making mini videos from short form content, just putting those out.
Okay, that's cool. That draws people in.
That's none of your business, though. Ride around, listening to thugger. Not even rich in the bitches, they love us. Harlem nigga, and I'm smooth like I'm butter. Harlem nigga, and I'm boom bumpin' thugger. I don't make the fucking rules, I don't wanna. Now her go, she gon' choose what she wanna. Product all in my environment, ayy. All of my niggas providing, ayy. None of my plugs are retiring, ayy. Back up that work off for iron, ayy. Ride around, listening to thugger. Not even rich in the bitches, they love us. Harlem niggas smooth like you butter. Ride around, boom, bumpin' thugger.
This man loves thugger. I got it. Phil? This is the same song? Hip-hop, I don't remember hip-hop ever used to doing this, to switch up production so quickly. Right? It's pretty recent, like last 5 years I noticed it so much.
I think Drake's a big effect for that too.
And I'm still on that wavy shit. Still fucking bitch
Drake,
back
maybe
on Mercedes shit. Still
Recently,
kick her out and
Jesus.
fuck a lady friend. Damn, shut up, bitch. Don't ask me my name again. Ex bitch trippin'. Ask till we date again.
Tyler the Creator.
I don't fuck with the witnesses. All that nigga on the block always asking what bitches is. How you that nigga? And ask what the bitches is.
2000 era, that shit didn't
Ask what the
happen
switch
much,
is.
did it?
This and that
LP
designer
does it a
thought
bit.
you were getting it. Rock 'em right to sleep. Finesse dividends. All my niggas eat. They place, I'm fixing it. It's about to be. Money outside.
Okay.
Oh, you back to Thugger. He's back to Thugger. He's back to Thugger. He's added that little bit of layer on the beat. And then trying to go. I love that. Smooth like a butter.
Make the fucking rules, I don't wanna. Now her go, she gonna choose what she wanna. Product all in my environment, hey.
All about butter, it's Thugger.
Hey, none of my plugs are retiring, hey. Back up that work off for iron, hey. Ride around, listening to Thugger. Not even rich in the bitches, they love us. Harlem niggas smooth like you butter. Ride around, boom, bumpin' Thugger.
We get it, man. You like Thugger and butter.
He digged the butter.
Phil Walker. We gonna get into really dope. Danny Brown, Kendrick Lamar, Absol, sweatshirt.
Want to get into it?
Yeah.
Talk about it?
You wanna talk about the track before it?
Nah, let's play it.
No, it's up to you, baby.
Nigga, fuck you, nigga.
Hey, what you doing?
When I first heard this,
Really though.
what, and you know what the best thing about this track is? I reckon that the sixth verse goes on, the verse after, it always keeps being better. I think it goes,
Say I got the city on fire. I ain't booming, that's a goddamn lie. Whoa. Really though, like really though. Really though, like really though. They say I got the city on fire. I ain't booming, that's a goddamn lie. Whoa. Really though, like really though. They came to know a pound, rounded me for like a month. Now I'm getting high as fuck. Boy, you're trying to write me up, but now I'm a writer with ambitions of a writer, and good but good could be better. I wish a motherfucker would. They say I got the city on fire. I ain't booming, that's a goddamn lie. Whoa. Really though, like really though. Really though, like really though. They say I got the city on fire. I ain't booming, that's a goddamn lie. Whoa. Really though, like really though. Really though, like really though. Life is like an appetite of truth and dare. I double dare your life to end in vain before the end is near. See, I can hear you crying silent, sitting in the dark, holding crosses cross your heart. Sin is such a work of art. Watch out for the love lost. Bet 1,000, shoot 1,000. Things a nigga do for thousands. Made 1 million counting sheep. Gave it all to public housing. Taking off the Abu Dhabi. Beaming up the motor Scotty. Talking to promoter Scotty. Went beyond basic. That's life insurance, car insurance, good pussy insurance. Hey, look what I'm doing. Hey, riding in foreign.
Wish a motherfucker would, Brown. I had to put my foot down. It's like I'm popping a clutch. Your head palpable, your jaw full of dust. Never passed my mama no blunt. It kept my head straight. Listen, dead weight, never been a problem to dump. Looking since 2001. Well, it's the left-handed shooter, Kyle Lowry the pump. I'm at your house like, why Why you got your couch on my chucks, motherfucker?
Oh! Whoa! That shit just keeps getting better.
Whoa!
And better.
Oh.
And better.
Man.
They say they got the city on fire. Really though.
Really though.
Okay, so that's. I feel like this guy. Listening to this right now again, I'm like, these guys could make their own group, like a hip hop group, like TDE. You got the good music, like this could be one right here.
Oh, for sure, man. They all went in, and they all had their own style as well. I feel like Absol definitely sounded a bit like Danny at the start, but then he found his own sort of. And the thing about Absol, he sounds different. If you listen to a lot of Absol's previous work, like Absol's voice is sort of different on this. I just feel because he's been out of the game for so long, it just felt weird to hear him on something. But I thought, like, at first I really loved Absol's verse, but the more I listened to it, Kendrick's verse got to me more. Danny Brown's is just great as well.
Danny Brown's a great start to the track. Great start.
I feel like Danny Brown doesn't switch up his flow on this track, whereas Absol does in the middle, Kendrick does, but then L Sweatshirt's just lyrics on this. And the way that he just demands attention. His voice is like, sit the fuck down and listen to me. Like, if you ain't fucking listening, get the fuck out.
And
that's how he sounds.
I'm not a big listener of Odd Future or L Sweatshirt, so I'm not familiar with his work, but I understand that this kind of energy, sound, and tenor of L Sweatshirt is quite different from his previous work. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
It's got a different energy to it, and that's why people like perking their ears up. Whoa.
I feel like, well, the last two projects he's had have been very depression-fueled.
Right.
It feels like in here that he's not exactly past it, but I feel like that he's more at peace with it. And he can just explore so much more of himself now that he doesn't have that constantly in the back of his mind holding him back.
It's like he's using what he learned from it.
I feel like that he's got to the stage now where he can grasp towards everything that he was been trying to grasp for so long. And apparently, I've actually just read that he's released three different tracks at the moment, and they're all flames. Like, apparently his wordplay and aggression is just a whole another level now.
And this man's young too.
Yeah, like
young,
he was
low 20s.
He was probably, like Tyler was saying, that when he was 16, he was the best rapper. That it was a 16-year-old, because that's when he released like the L tape, which was dope. I got onto that.
22, man.
22.
I'm looking at him. He looks like a goofball.
He does, eh?
You wouldn't think someone could drop those bars like that. True. He's born in my month. Oh, cool.
There you go.
Yeah, man, great track. Is that a single from any of those people's albums, or is
Danny Brown's album?
This is a single from.
Comes out September 30.
Right.
Which so probably leak before then. So I'm gonna be hopefully on it and get a review ready.
And we will be
on it.
We'll be on it, but we're gonna be on that Mick Jenkins.
I haven't heard the new Mick Jenkins.
I haven't either. I don't want to. I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm literally.
Waiting for the album?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the album. The album's
It's coming out soon. I got such high hopes for that album, man.
So do I.
There's been so much good shit that's come out this year.
It's coming out. Damn. Let me get this calendar joint. It's coming out in a couple of days. Coming out in a couple of days. We'll be on it. 100%.
Oh, man, there's so much shit coming out I'm excited for. And I feel like I've had time to let everything else digest. I've let the Isaiah Rashad digest. I've had Frank Ocean digest now. Mac Miller's definitely digested now. Like, I've got to a stage where, like, I mean, there's still stuff out there that I want to listen to that's new, but nothing that I, like, really want to. Like, stuff that comes out, I'm like, I got to get on this shit. Like, there's still heaps of stuff I've got sitting down there on my computer that I've got to get to, but I feel comfortable with what I have got to. So.
Right. And you listened to Vince Staples before we came in.
I listened to Summertime 06 because I was listening to Prima Donna earlier, and I was like, yo, I haven't listened to Summertime 06 in a while, and I was listening to it. So refreshing. Still as awesome as the first day I heard it.
Right.
Like, I was just like, whew, these beats.
It's a very timely album. Like, isn't that really what you want to make in music? You want to make music that's timeless, that's relevant. Mm-hmm. And that same thing with content in your writing. Like, I write a lot. And so, I want to make these writings kind of timeless. They should be relevant throughout my entire life, I hope, the principles and whatever I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Same thing, I think it's all art, and you want to make the art... and art's relevancy within its culture is how timeless, or part of it is how timeless it can be. And Vince Staples has obviously done that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think that album is going to be talked about for a long time. And I think a lot of artists that right now, young people growing up, are going to draw inspiration from that. I think that, look, in 5 years' time, when you see a lot of new rappers coming up, Vince Staples will be some of their favorite rappers. I feel like he's got that way.
He's one of my favorite rappers right now. Have you heard his feature with GDA? GDA's a producer, I believe. I may be wrong.
I was thinking Grand Theft Auto. I'm like,
yeah. So that's the first thing.
I saw it. That's why I didn't click on it, because I thought it was from the game. I was like, oh, it's probably just like that. But
that's the first thing I thought of too. But
is it good? So I'm gonna say it is.
Let's have a look.
Production. Okay.
Production's funky. First time I heard it, I was like, oh.
It's got that wooden feel to it.
Oh yeah, like a Chinese kind of. It's got the water
Like
fountain.
around a campfire, or maybe a Serenity.
Childish Gambino shit.
Yeah.
Hip-hop ain't really been shit for me. Little bit of hell, little bit for the homies. And when we get new wheels from rocks, the caveman. Little bit of this, little bit of that.
They got the frog.
Little bit of this, little bit of that.
Oh my fucking god. That is a fucking banger and a half.
Indeed.
And that beat build up so well. And like I was gonna say the production's the standout that track, but Vince fucking rode that the whole way through.
I know, he kept the
That's
cadence.
Like,
he
wait,
did
look
not.
at it. Vince is basically come across this bitch, and he's like, yo, this chick's way too hot for me. I'm gonna flirt with her anyway. Starts flirting with her. She's into him. He's into her. He's like, fuck, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've never been with a chick this hot before, but slays it. Slays it. It's like coming across a beat that you don't think you can rap on, and he just went ham on that.
I just want to kind of dissect the lyrics a little bit.
Alright.
A little bit.
Yo, you're too excited, bro.
Broke the button, man. My bad. My bad. In the last couple lines, I'm a contradict. Now watch this very nice wordplay. So he's like kind of poking fun at the fact, you know, of mainstream rap, talking about it, and he does that in such like a, I don't know, it's such a cool way. Along the production, keeping perfectly in time.
Stop acting like I'm an activist. No, this ain't happened on accident. They even dead white man to the African. There'll never be another one after this, so just pay your mission and pay attention. Little bit of this, little bit of that.
And they got the frog production. You got the little ribbit. You hear that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's GDA is the producer. And
well, there's cars and shit going on that video clip. So
oh yeah, the video clip's
I was
crazy.
like, yo, this is GTA.
The video clip's crazy.
Oh, that's fuck me. That's all I can say. That fucking took me.
But it's
a while.
yeah, man, it's heavy. Oh, it was a great track, great track,
Yeah.
and it just got better with time. You listen to it, you should love it even more. I know I did.
Smashing that shit when I get home.
Pause.
I mean, I was gonna go out and get laid, but that's better. I'm kidding, but of course.
You could use the song and you can go to the tempo. You gotta be like, oh, hold on, now it's the outro, so you can't hear it. Then it's kind of like this. Oh, okay. And then it gets a little bit of this. You gotta speed up, obviously. Don't come too quick though. So pace yourself, young kids. You know, pace yourself.
Oh man.
Yeah, my family isn't watching this. Don't worry about that.
Damn, man. Track of the week. That's Jungle Beat of the Week.
This Jungle Beat of the Week?
Jungle Beat of the Week.
Jungle Beat of the Week.
Holy
Little
damn.
bit of this, little bit of that. Nettie. Nettie just dropped a track today. You know Nettie?
I do know Nettie. She's Australian, isn't she?
She's Australian.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
is, let me just show you. She looks like that, by the way.
Yeah, I think
You
I've seen
remember?
her
I
around
was
it
trying to like
before.
remind you
Yeah,
of her face. We played the Panda remix
yeah, that was hard.
earlier this year.
That was hard.
Now, I've been talking to her every now and again. Trying to see what she's been up to in her music, and she seems like she's working hard on a project. And today she dropped a track. It wasn't through her SoundCloud, it was through somebody else's, the producers. And I wanted to play it and give her some love, and because it's a good track, and she's a great vocalist with a lot of talent.
That is.
This is called High Up in the Clouds. I won't get hit with copyright because it's Nettie, and Nettie won't do that. Not yet.
Oh my eyes, intertwined through the vines of your mind's eyes, going glistening up in the night sky. Hold me close from this dark pit that I find. Moments better in solitary through my eyes. Don't need no friends to feel better about myself. Why do you rely?
I was raised in a sandbox.
You said the cadence was similar.
It was. And the beat, you hear that in the background? Very similar. And the drums as well. Just wait for it to kick in.
Which is funny now, cause all I see is bloody coyotes in the room, and I run it. And I run it. And I run it. And I run it. That's ironic. I run it. That's ironic. I run it. Yeah, so all of my wounds, in my tears, all of my tunes, let my life loose in this groove, just for you, motherfucker, hope y'all amused. And I run it.
believe in it. Let's have a look. Let's play.
Shit, make a nigga just wanna ride. Reminisce when I had the morning appetite. Apple jack and nothing that I used to feel died. And a minute.
Oh my, oh my, oh my eyes.
Never end up getting high. Tell a story that I never drove at 25.
Waves that I'm swimming by, right? Just a friend that's living close by. In your mind and your soul that is tricked, right? Oh, I never knew
Nobody
that.
go bye bye.
Oh, very similar. Very
On your tongue, say killer than you kill.
Moments better and solitary through my eyes. Don't need no friends to feel better about myself. Why? Think rely on other creatures that think and hide. How do you do? What do you do? Same shit.
I'm from the bottom of the jungle, living in the bottom.
That's like
Very similar.
It's like I feel like cartoon series a little more sped up. Is that you feel that too?
With the drums, but the backing sort of noises in the back are very similar, and the flows are a bit there as well.
Nettie, are you the female Kendrick Lamar in the making? Excuse me, I can't give you that. But like very like, are you the baby Kendrick? Are you the baby female Kendrick Lamar Australian version, but with long hair and much prettier? Maybe, maybe not. We shall see.
Time will tell.
Indeed. But that was actually kind of cool to see. That's a very
Yeah.
really good pickup because Cartoons and Serial is like one
It's
of
my favorite Kendrick track.
there it is. You know,
it's my favorite Kendrick track. I
it's-
remember when we were playing, when here we rolled in on our favorite tracks.
We did
I put it
top
on, you were
tracks.
just like, I did not expect
yeah, man.
Because people forget about this track.
Right.
There are a lot of
It's
Kendrick
not on
tracks that don't
any
make
album.
albums. It's also like
Is that correct? It's not on any album.
no,
It's not officially released.
And he had so many tracks like in between Good Kid, Mad City and Section 80 that were never on albums. It was so good. Like what was that one called? Something Guns or Western. He did a track with Jeezy that was hard, and like that was an album. He also, if I can remember all of them, there's like so many Kendrick tracks that never made albums. There's even been like articles on like on a lot of websites. They'll be like, oh, these are like 10 Kendrick tracks that you'll never hear that aren't on albums. Like he's just got so much shit out
Incredible.
there. That is just so
Discography's
fire.
crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you still bumping Isaiah Rashad. I know I'm still bumping
I'm
Isaiah
bumping it, so
Rashad.
I
The
can
Sun's
comfortably say-
Tirade.
I can comfortably say right now, it's my favorite album of the year.
Wow.
It's taken that time. Every time I listen to it, I listened to it again last night. It's taken over Denzel Curry. I love
What?
Denzel Curry Imperial, but Denzel Curry Imperial only has like, 2 or 3 things going in the album. On this album, Isaiah Rashad's mucking around with so many different more sounds, so many different more flows, and so many different more topics. That's why to me, over time, it's just the better album.
Okay. Obviously better than Views. I'm sorry. Just sorry, Drake.
I like Views, but nah, that's just out of top.
TLOP. See ya. Untitled Unmastered.
Nah,
See ya. Blank Face.
in there.
In there.
Probably top 10.
See ya. Birds in the Trap. Come on, get the fuck out of here. Come on. What else we got? What else we
I can
got?
tell you my top 5 right now.
Tell me.
So we got we obviously got
Prima Donna out.
Nah, it was
There's
good.
a
I
lot going
fuck
on.
with
Vic
it, but still-
Mensa.
Yeah, that's in my top 10.
Uh-huh.
That I thought that for a 7-track EP, that was absolute flames. That was one of the best comeback EPs.
Layers. Don't sleep on Layers by
Layers
Royce.
is good. That's my top 20.
Top 20? Give it to me.
Okay. All right, top 5. Top 5. So number 1 we got Zara Shad, Sun's Tirade. 2 we got Desert Car Imperial. 3 Anderson Park Malibu. 4 Frank Ocean Blonde. I've had a lot of time to digest that, and that is such a beautiful album. And then 5, I believe, was I wrote it down. Hold on. I'm gonna find this.
One moment, please.
One moment. Hold on. The other stuff. I know that Kembe X Talk Back's in my 10. Because I love that. I love that album so much. I think that's Kembe X's best album.
Nice. Respect.
Schoolboy Q, definitely Blank Face is in there. A-Cal's Welcome to Ghazi is in there. That's one of my favorite R&B records of the year as well. 10 tracks, his first album. It's free. I was totally blown away by that.
But this dick ain't for free.
This dick gave it free.
No Name Telephone, number 5. Really? I fuck with that album so much.
Really? Fuck with No Name Telephone. What does that album mean to you?
I just don't think
She came out of not nowhere.
Well, she first
Because she
came
wasn't
on,
a lot of
Chance the
features.
Rapper on Acid Rap. So that's
She's
where
been
I
with
first
Mick Jenkins on features.
done with that. That's how she started off. So she's always, and people have always known her for the sort of rapper who's always been on stuff, but she never put out anything like an album-wise. Like she'd always put out a track here or there or a feature in there, but she never had a complete body of work. Actually, someone actually put together all her singles and made their own fan-made mixtape called What the Fuck is a No Name Gypsy? Because that's when she was known by No Name Gypsy. So someone did a fan-made tape that people got into, and everyone thought that was her actual first tape, but it was fan-made. She just couldn't, and this is her first body work she's put out. And I actually one of the things I love about it is from start to finish, you just get lost, because I think the production is the standout of this album. From start to finish, it just keeps the theme. And what I like as well, that she's a very positive person. I feel like in this day and age, some people can sort of not really bring it across in a way that's natural. I feel like some people will either put on, because a lot of rap is, you know, negative, but in a way that's been the cool negative. Like, you know, whereas she just
it's like a sign of masculinity to have that badge of, I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, she just basically has this beautiful positiveness about her, and like just not innocence, but like just a light happiness, and it's just all over this album. And even when she's talking about sad things like an abortion that like she didn't want,
right?
And she talks about if the baby was still around, she still talks about it in a way which is like just a happy way, like she regrets it and like wished and thinks about all the things that happened, but she's just at the end of the day like she's still comfortable where she's at, and like just sort of like is happy about everything that she's been surrounded with, what's happened to her. So I think from start to finish, that's how she takes the approach to this album, and I really love it. I think it's beautiful.
No one really touches on that topic at all through music, not often. And when
J. Cole did with on his first album.
Is that right?
Yeah, he touched on there about the first verse about him with the girl, the second verse is him pretending to be pretending like he was the girl
in her position, yeah.
Her position, then the third verse is from like both ends, and like they end up not having the kid.
No Name did it well though. Like she did it in a way that was quite unique and delicate and insert adjective here. Now, I hate Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Emilio Rojas.
Emilio Rojas. He's been a rapper I've been following since I was 17 years old.
Wow.
And he actually could have got signed to MMG, didn't end up getting signed. And he's just been independent since that time. He's dropped about 5-6 mixtapes. And the reason I followed him since then is he's always been a really standout lyricist, and he's always been hugely about for the people, because he's I think he's Latino. And so like one of the tracks that he put out was one that drew me. It was one about, at the time of when he put it out, about how a lot of Americans reviewed like the whole Mexican situation, how like people over there will treat them differently, and like it was just really, I just think he's just a really smart rapper in the way he uses words. Like, I'm gonna listen to this track now. You listen to the way that he uses words, and he's a very switched on dude.
It has not been easy for me. And
listen now.
I started off in Brooklyn. My father gave me a small
Instead of just being like fucking television.
There's one track Big Crit dropped today. It was a feature. Did you hear about that?
I did. I haven't checked it out yet, but I thought, and Crit has left Def Jam. He's already done his contract to 3 albums with them. So,
what do you think that'll mean for him for the rest of his career so far?
I think it's great. Def Jam did wonders for him. They set him up with Live for the Underground and Catalactica. Actually, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to do 3 albums with them. He must have got out of the contract. I'll find out why soon. But he wants to go independent. He wants to start his own label. Because he's from Mississippi, he's from the South, he represents an area which I guess rap comes from and has a history with, but not a lot. You got the whole like April MJG, you got the Outkast influence down there too, for like Atlanta. But yeah, I think that he's gonna do wonders, because to me, seeing him live, he was insane. He's just a real pure hip hop head, and his style that he takes on is his own. He draws influence with his production, but his flow and the way that he carries the beat is just purely his own. So I think that he's gonna do wonders. I really hope he starts a new label and gets other rappers under his wing that have the same sort of style as him.
I think you're gonna fuck with this. This made my eyebrows raise. This is it's Kenneth Wylam's track. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And he's on a feature. So Kenneth is on the vocals. But check this joint out. It's called Might Not Be Okay.
Police been firing and they gon' keep firing.
in.
That's straight emotion.
And straight emotion. That's
Straight.
like,
I never heard him sound like that. Like Mount Olympus, I heard him with that aggression.
But not like that.
But like this is like pain.
I feel like every single like octave in each laid verse is keeping up and up
Right,
and
right,
up.
right,
You can feel
right.
like just when he ended that verse, he probably burst into tears.
Right.
And like
it kind of gives me
damn.
chills. Like it's
Definitely, man. Like that's another track I'm gonna hit up as soon as I get home. Damn.
Yeah.
I fucking saw it on posts and stuff like, oh, I'll check it out when I get to it. I'm hating myself now. That track is
And
insane.
man, it's kind of disappointing, Kendrick, J. Cole, Kanye, Drake dropped a track like this, it'd be talked about everywhere.
But it hasn't been done. Kendrick.
But because Big Crit, people ask who's Big Crit.
I feel like Crit's at a stage now where since Catalactica, most people do know who he is. But
Okay.
But obviously, like for people that are like
Mainstream
just
don't.
know mainstream pop, they won't know it.
Right. But yeah, very emotional, heavy track. It stood out. It caught my attention as soon as I heard it. So you listen to music in the background, just like that. I'm like, I stop. I'm like, whoa, because you can feel it. It speaks through the whole production. You can feel the music.
J. Cole's done a few tracks like that.
He definitely has. Be Free is one that
Be Free, and he did one for the fires as well when that came out.
For the what?
I can't remember. It was one of the fires that went through a certain area in
Right.
Lives where he did something for that. But
J. Cole's big on
I don't think Kendrick. I know Kendrick and J. Cole did something for was it Friday?
Black Friday.
Black
Yeah, they
Friday.
both did one for Black Friday.
Yeah.
Black Friday remix. Really impressed by that on Big Crit, and it dropped today. And you said, as soon as we walked in, you said something about a police officer, a woman police officer shooting.
Yeah. She shot a black man dead who was holding a book and she thought it was a gun.
Right.
I don't know much other context behind that, and that's purely
Right.
through the media.
Yeah. So we could be wrong. But the point is that I'm saying that to say may have been a response in regards to that, because that happened within the last 12 hours. This happened within the last 6 hours. I think it may line up.
I think so as well, man.
But props to Big Crit.
It's just sad that it keeps happening, like over and over again. I just feel like hopefully from all this pain and suffering that there will be some good that will come.
Yeah, that's all I know is that
people come together.
You got to be the light for yourself and your circle and your family and your friends. Each person can make a difference. I truly, truly believe that.
Like, if I passed in a way like that in a situation like that, I'd hope that like from all that there would be a lot of good that came from it, and I would honestly be happy to go out like that if it brought so many people together.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Man, it's a part of legacy that some of us chase. Now to switch gears, if you want.
Denny Cascade.
This is early Denzel Curry, way before he dropped Imperial. How many years?
Nostalgic. Oh, it's only 2 years.
And how do you think his sound and lyricism and maturation as an artist has changed?
So much. I think the biggest change was he just got more aggressive. I
like that.
Nostalgia 64,
like
was
that.
smooth. Listen to this track and hear how smooth it is, and then picture Imperial. They sound completely different.
Niggas know about niggas like me. Rolling KOD.
Denny Cascade.
Tell me what y'all niggas know about niggas like me. Rolling
One of the biggest Denzel Curry.
LSD. I'm fried. I'm in my zone. I got the kush. I got Patron. I got that weed and LSD. Really when the mother nature got us up in my galaxy. Lavishly. Living in a dimension where we play Grey's Anatomy. Doctor, I am so proper.
Could be like the next big thing.
Whoa, slow down. She thought I was destroying her. She liked the way it feels when she's searching for euphoria. I'm gliding through some.
I still think it's weird that Too Bad didn't live. Too Bad is the type of track that I thought would live. It didn't. It's just such a fucking tune. I still play it today. Too Bad. I got some bad bitches in this.
I say euphoria.
You know what I really want to see? A famous rapper that puts out an album with no hooks. It's just bars. The way I look at it, so much music is just very reliant on having a hook. You don't need a hook. Rap's about bars. I want to see an album or a mixtape, 10 tracks or more.
So essentially, you're saying you want a freestyle, but a whole album of freestyles, but like not freestyles.
Yeah,
so
but you can have bridges. Like you can have like slight bridges, but like I just feel like we're getting to an age where we're getting to a repetitive stage. Like every song will have a chorus, and it might be played once, it might be played twice or 3 times. But why can't we have a song where there's still structured verses and bars, or just one straight one, but in between they can have like slight bridges, or maybe like slight things that sound like a chorus, but you don't hear it more than once. Like why does every track have to have a repetitive chorus?
That's a great point.
I just feel like that an artist needs to come out and do this, because I think that I think that we just need change in hip hop right now, or change in music in general. I think the fact that people every artist just feels like you need to have a hook. I don't think you need a hook. It's just the way the music is right now. I think we'll switch it up. Because imagine how many different people would just change things up if someone did that.
Great point. Like what we're hearing, what we talked about before with the production switch up that we see so often in songs now through mainstream hip hop and pop. You see the switch up in production and changes the whole energy up. That could be the same thing said for the hooks. I think hooks are such a fallback. It's such a filler.
It is, and also a lot of artists.
You can take a minute, 90 seconds from a song with hooks.
I thought that's why I think a lot of artists also, when they think of a topic, you need a topic before you do a track a lot of the time. And a lot of people will start with the hooks. They'll be like, oh, the hook will go here, and they'll put and once the hook's in, they're like, oh, cool, now I need its verses. A lot of people will do that, and you're right, it takes up so much space and time. I think it's not. It can be a lazy thing, but it can also just be a time issue thing. But hooks do make songs good, but I would just
Kendrick is a guy who like can kill a hook and make it so catchy.
Yeah.
We go, yeah, right? You know, like he does that all the time.
Yeah, but
there's other artists who overuse it.
An artist like Kendrick especially just do something like that, and he's one that could do that. I think that bridges should become a bigger thing.
What is it? Okay, so musically, what is a bridge compared to a chorus or verse?
A bridge is a part of a song which is separate to verses and chorus, so it doesn't have the same structure as one of the verse or chorus. It doesn't necessarily have to be short, but normally they are, and it's just a part of that song where it's a switch up. So say like, what's a good example of this?
Does it have to be at a designated point in a song, start, middle, end?
No, it can be anywhere. It could be at the start, could be middle, could be end. But most of the time,
but a bridge is hence bridging.
Bridge is normally towards the end. Normally, most strong structures is verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, or verse, bridge, chorus.
Okay.
And some won't even have bridges. Or some will start with chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, verse.
And the
chorus.
hook's chucked in there.
Yeah. I just think bridges should become a bigger thing because bridges are normally short, 2, 3, 4 lines, slower to give that bit of edge of a song. But yeah, I know. I just feel that we need to get to a stage where music surprises us more because I'm getting to the stage where music isn't surprising me as much. And
that's a big thing for you because you've been living this for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the year is, 12, 13. Like you've been in this hip hop game for a long time.
Like I'm loving the new age of rappers. I mean, I don't dig them as much. I'm not a big fan of the Uzi Verts, the Yachties, and all that sort of stuff. But that's the thing. I do my research. I always find for people that say that hip hop's shit, you're not doing your research.
100%.
Look out there. There'll be something you like.
It's like saying the world is. You know what it's like, man? It's like those. It's like. It's perspective, like with the perspective and lens you have of your reality, but it's also like this idea that the world's going to shit. Like we see all the negative things, the disasters, the catastrophes, the killings, the attacks, right? As bad as those things are, as relevant as those things are, there's a million things, great things that are happening that we're not looking at as well. And it's the same thing in any kind of genre of life, I feel like, whether it's music or whether it's the news, perspective, and how much are you doing your research to dive in and understand what it is, why it is, and how it works.
I think balance is just a key component there.
Balance. What does that mean to you?
To me,
in the context of what we're saying.
I think with the positive and negativity, if you're too busy focusing on the negativity or the positivity, then you just don't really see it as a positivity
too
or
much
negativity.
Positivity, maybe naive, you stop seeing things that are there.
Exactly. I feel like blending the good with the bad, you find the appreciation for the both, and that's sort of what makes you either want to change or just, change your outlook, the way you feel. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, I think we're going to end on that.
True.
This is Jungle Beats Radio, Season 1, Episode 2. Look, I don't expect many people to watch this right now at all. Right now, I'm just like creating for us, creating for music. I'm creating for just to create, just to learn.
Check it out.
Right?
You love music? Love hip-hop? Like guys with dreads?
How would you describe yourself?
Tall, lanky, suave.
Suave.
Woo! Check it out on there.